Do you have a goal or something that you're trying to accomplish and it feels like you're just not making the progress you want to make fast enough? Do you realize that it's possible that you have little sneaky distractions coming in that you're not even aware of? Meaning everybody understands that if you're not working towards a goal, then you're procrastinating or you're being lazy, or they understand that you're not making progress towards a goal if you're not working towards the goal. But did you know you actually could be working towards your goal and still have sneaky distractions that you're not even aware of that are holding you back, that legitimately could be considered work towards your goal? I'll explain to you more about that here in a moment, but this is the weekly success tip this week. I'm going to share with you how to accomplish your goals even faster. Every single week here at Destiny Global, we're trying to bring you a success tip that's going to help you accomplish your goals, make more money, grow your income, build your business, and make it happen even faster for you. At the end of the day, we are passionate about wanting to be able to see you succeed. You know, when I first started in business in my early 20s, no one really thought I was going to succeed. I wasn't incredibly smart. Look, it took me 5 years to get a 2-year degree. I ended up working full-time as a registered nurse, but I knew that I wanted more out of life. So I started a part-time business, and I really struggled with that business because I didn't know how to succeed. I didn't know anything about business, and I didn't really know anyone who was successful in business that could help me. And then I heard about a training event called First Step to Success. I attended that training event. My first 30 days after that event, I ended up turning a profit in that business. My first year I went on and did $70,000 in profit in a part-time business. Now we're talking about 20 years ago. 20 years ago, could you imagine how much money that is today if inflation doubles roughly every 10 years? My second year in business, I did $120,000 in profit on a part-time business. That year I ended up going full-time, and I've been an entrepreneur ever since, self-employed. Today I'm married, I have 3 kids, we built multiple businesses. And I want you to be able to have the success that you want to have building your own business, whether it's your first business or your 10th business. Now, the success tip that I'm going to share with you today is something that, and when I'll finish up with the success tip, I'm going to tell you how you can get some more information if you want to take this training even further in your own life and in your own business. But this success tip is really near and dear to my heart because it's something that even today that I always work on continuing to master even better. Because if you master this success tip, what it can do for your production and your productivity in your own personal life, if you want to have more free time in your life, if you want to be able to do more of the things that you enjoy in your life, and you want to be able to pound through crushing every single goal you set for yourself, this is a success tip that you have to absolutely master. So what am I talking about? Well, let's talk about what your goal is. So if you have a goal for yourself, maybe you have a goal in your business, you want to accomplish X amount, you want to do X amount, whatever your actual goal is. First things first, you have to keep in mind that that goal has to be the highest priority of your activity and of your daily life. If it's important enough for you to make it a goal, if it's important enough to say we want to accomplish X amount, we want to grow to X amount, we want our business to do, XYZ in revenue or have XYZ locations or whatever that number is or whatever that task is or that goal is. Every single day when you go to work, your primary motive, your primary focus needs to make certain that you're working towards that goal. Now, there's 2 things that we need to focus on. It's our most important task and our most important activity. And you may have both important tasks you need to accomplish and important activities, but typically it's going to be one or the other. So an important task, for example, if you're growing, let's just say that you're trying to build a social media brand. An important task, if you're starting that brand for the first time, might be I need to set up a Instagram account. I need to set up my little wall art or whatever. I need to set up my profile. Those are tasks. And I need to, create a content schedule. I need to map out what content I want to go up. I need to understand, how to promote my content on other social media platforms, whatever. Those are individual tasks that's taking you through a journey. But at some point, you're going to end up with daily activity, primary activity that you need to get done to work towards that goal. So using social media, for example, maybe it's, you got your content schedule, so you need to put up content every single day or 3 times a week, whatever that, schedule is. And that is a main activity that needs to get done. My first $1 million, I ended up earning in the direct sales industry. In the direct sales industry, it was all about, being able to have conversations, being able to meet prospects every single day. So there's specific strategies, specific activity. We would have 10 conversations every single day, and we were doing it all over the telephone back then primarily. So it was like every single day, that was my activity. That was my primary activity that I needed to get done. That was my primary activity that I need to get done. And it doesn't matter what business you have. You have some sort of primary activity or primary task that has to get done. I mean, if you had a pizza shop, I don't know, maybe it's making certain that you have enough dough ready and prepped for the day. Maybe it's making certain that you have the schedules good and your employees are showing up to work. There's a primary task or primary activity that has to get done every single day. And like it's got to get done if you're going to make progress. And this is the most important thing. Now, here's the challenge. Along with those primary tasks, there's all these other miscellaneous tasks that need to get done, and typically in no real specific order, but they still have to get done. And what we oftentimes do, what a lot of entrepreneurs do, is the primary task gets mundane after a while. The primary task can get old. It can get stale. And we can start avoiding that primary task, but we're not going to not work, right? We're entrepreneurs. We're on track to be successful entrepreneurs, or we are successful entrepreneurs. So we're not going to avoid the task. We know that, hey, Monday morning, I've got to be going to work, or Monday afternoon after work, I've got to work on my new business, whatever it is. We know whatever your work schedule is, you've got to show up and work. What ends up happening, though, is what we do with our work. And many times we start focusing on things that need to get done, but they're not the priority to get done. Meaning, for example, you think, hey, I need to show up in my office and I need to talk to some clients. I need to do some prospecting. I have some sales calls I need to make. And what you end up doing is you start, going through and you reschedule your workday, or you're reorganizing your office because, it does need to get done at some point, right? I need a clean workspace. And so you go listen to some training to get your mind right. And then that was really good. And you listen to some more training and you're getting your mind right. You're getting ready to go to work. You gotta make something happen. Or, if you're in a direct sales space and you're like, you want to start building a social media brand, you start focusing on the social media brand, the thing that's not bringing you any income and is only designed to supplement your primary activity. But you end up, instead of focusing on, for example, making those sales calls, in this case, instead of focusing on that, what you end up doing is you start focusing on, hey, I need to learn something about the social media stuff, because in your mind, you tell yourself, hey, I'm going to go do this, and then I'm going to circle back around. I need to get this done right now, and then I'm going to come back to the primary task or the primary activity. And it ends up being a little bit of a distraction. In a traditional business, or let's go back to the pizza shop. In a pizza shop, I was talking to you about, you can do the same thing. You can get distracted on social media and that sort of thing. But you could also get distracted on researching maybe new products you're going to bring into your business, or new inventory, or new, if you had hey, we need to get a brand new point of sale system. We need to bring that in, so I need to go research that. And you're not focused on the primary task. You're assuming, because the schedule is usually pretty good, you got good workers, they usually show up on time, so you kind of neglect what's going on there. You neglect some of those employee relationships, you neglect some of those customer relationships, you neglect some of the primary things that are important to drive your business forward. And the reason that you neglect it is because it gets old sometimes, it gets stale sometimes, it can become mundane sometime in your business, but it's incredibly, incredibly important. So if you have a goal that you want to accomplish, you understand what that goal is, you understand what your primary task is, it's very important that you make that primary task your first task, or that primary activity your first activity, your highest priority activity that needs to get done that day, and you have to get it done. If you find yourself getting distracted on other business-related or work-related things, but it's distracting you from getting the primary task, the primary activity done, then what you're going to do is that has a direct result on delaying you accomplishing your goals. There's no way that it can't delay you accomplishing your goals. So I call, anytime that you get distracted with work-related activity that's not the primary work task or the primary activity you need to get done, I call that productive procrastination. So you want to avoid all sorts of procrastination, but especially productive procrastination. Now, people will say, well, Jackie, when do I get those things done? You get those things done once you're finished with your primary activity, your primary task. And what sometimes you'll find is when you finish up your primary activity, your primary task, and you're like, oh, now I can go research that point of sale system. Or now I can go and reorganize my office. That's what I need to get done. I want to have it ready to go for tomorrow, so to speak. What you'll oftentimes find out is you won't take the time to reorganize your office, or you won't research the point of sale system because you're not ready to actually switch to a new point of sale system, in a retail location, for example. You're not really looking to actually switch just yet. It's not a high enough priority. What oftentimes happens is we unconsciously create reasons or excuses to avoid working on the thing that we don't enjoy working on so much, not because it's hard necessarily. Maybe it's just mundane. Maybe it's just monotonous. Maybe it's just, that we do it every day, even though we know that it's important. So as I say this, you may not necessarily be the one doing the task. Maybe you have employees that do a specific task. But it is important that you, as the business owner, make certain that the primary task or the primary activity is happening every single day. What is the primary task? What is the primary activity? It is the single most important task or single most important activity that aligns with your primary goal. Now, I'll tell you another area where you can see this sneak in on people. Serial entrepreneurs. They're always, they got a primary business they're working on, a primary goal they're working on, and then they've got other businesses that are always in the works, other business ideas that are always in the works. During your work hours, don't forget what your primary goal is, your primary task, what you're working towards. That's what you have to focus on. The extracurricular business, the next business idea that you got, the next thing that you want to work on, the next thing that you want to launch, listen, that's done outside of your typical primary working hours. Anytime that you bring that outside business, that outside productivity into your primary business working hours, you're going to end up finding yourself getting distracted more often. You're not going to stay focused on the goals, and you're going to end up having to adjust your goal. Worst case scenario, what you do is you shrink your goal, or you have to kick out the timeline again, and you don't understand why, because you feel like you've been very busy working towards that goal, and you have been busy, but you're not always busy on the things that are most important. So keep your primary task and your primary activity in line with your primary goal, and keep that your highest priority during your work hours. And be aware when you are productively procrastinating. Now, if you want more training on growing your business, building your business, growing your income, and you want to understand, some of the skills that have been a cornerstone for my personal success, Ms. Carmela Quinn's success, and even Mr. Ken Brown, the other Destiny Global trainers, then what I recommend that you do is get registered for First Steps to Success. First Step Success is going to be coming up here in a few weeks. This is our 3-day event. We're going to be in San Antonio, Texas, and we're going to be going deep on core concepts that are necessary for you to be able to have the success that you want in your life and in your business. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and God bless.